मैं खाकी हूँ। दिन हूँ रात हूँ सांझ वाली बाती हूँ। मैं खाकी हूँ। आंधी में तूफान में होली में रमज़ान में देश के सम्मान में मैं खाकी हूँ. Namaste and welcome to the NMIMS podcast. The show constantly helps you grow. I'm your host Alek Lahiri. In this episode, we are over the moon to have Dr. Varun Kapoor sir, a senior IPS officer from the Madhya Pradesh cadre. Sir, first of all, I would like to start with a very important question, which is how to develop a cyber security based mindset. As we had a very, awe-inspiring session. So, how to develop a cyber security based mindset?
See, cybersecurity mindset is what I always preach, that this should be the main way how you can change your security status in the virtual world. But how will you develop that? I gave the solution for that also in the session, that you have to be aware. Awareness is the only key to cybersecurity. Awareness is knowing things and doing those things. Not only knowing about things, but doing it and doing it every time. So awareness can come through various means. You can read about it, you can know about it, you can hear about it. But ultimately, once you have collected that information and you are knowledgeable, then you have to use that information and then become secure. There is no other way.
So, sir, a question which adds to that, how one can develop the psychological aspect of cyber hygiene and cyber awareness? How one can develop that, sir?
Your development, as I told you, it is basically based on your knowledge and your use of that knowledge. So it is not like a normal world in which the real world in which the security systems are programmed into us. We are born in this real world and we live in this real world. So those systems of security, because the first instinct of any living being, it may be human, it may be an animal, it may be a plant, it is self-preservation. So self-preservation means security, so your own self-security. So those systems are built into us for the real world. We don't have to think about it and learn about it and then do about it. It's part of our system. But in the virtual world, which is definitely a different world, it is a device-based world where you connect, and people must first realize the difference between these two worlds. And once you realize the difference, then you must come to the fact that it is to be learnt. This security habit has to be imbibed. And then once you are knowing things, and then your mindset is changing, then you can be secure. The psychological dimension will come then. Your behavior will change. And once that behavioral change comes about, then your security will be better.
So sir, those students who are school students, they have just entered the college. What are the threats and legal consequences of a cyber attack which they might, get provoked and do kind of thing? So what are the legal consequences that they may face?
There are, first thing is the threats. So there are many types of threats in the cyber world. There is the unlimited kind of cyber crimes which are going around, and people have to be very aware. For children and for youth on colleges, there is something called social cyber crime, which I describe as a group of crimes which are based like cyber bullying, cyber stalking, online grooming, fake profile attack, and all those things are going around for youth and children. So they have to be very careful of these social crimes. Then there is one financial crime aspect to it also, which probably children and youth are not that much affected because they don't have access to that many cards and money and all. So they have to, but that is also there. They are all phishing based attacks basically. So there are two groups of crime. So their crime are a lot. So, and the way it is done also changes. I always say cybercrime has a shelf life of 3 months. All other crime, they are from like murder. Now, murder is a crime which is from generations, and it is murder. Why murder is done? There are three: jar, joru, jameen, which we say. So there are many things which are common, which will remain common. But cybercrime is so challenging that it also changes its form, it also changes its shape, it also changes the ways. So you have to be very careful in that sense that you have to deal with all these kind of crime. So first is that you have to know things and then do those things. That is to save yourself. And second part is, as you said, that you should not become a criminal by mistake. For that, you have to be very careful about the laws of the country. Knowing the laws, very difficult. It's IT Act. So if you can go through the IT Act and know the sections and know what is wrong, what is right, what has to be done, what doesn't have to be done, then it's very good. But if you cannot know the laws, then you have to be a little aware of the things and gather knowledge. Like my session is there. There are other ways also. You can gather knowledge on YouTube. You can gather knowledge on internet. So many things, and then use that knowledge. And then, as I keep saying, your behavior has to change. Technology is not going to help you to be secure. Technology is going to help you to do better in the cyber world. To achieve things. But it's the behavioral change which is going to make you secure.
Sir, imbibing security as an habit, as you say. So, sir, are there any mantras which uh, young boys and girls should follow in order to be safe in this tech world?
Yeah, that is. I have developed these 5 mantras, which I call what you said, 5 concepts which you must follow if you want to be better placed in the cyber world, security-wise. One is that you have to develop a mindset of security, which we have discussed it. That mindset has to come, because without that you will not do anything. And when you don't do anything, then you will not be secure. That's one. The second is you have to avoid greed and avoid shortcuts. People are falling in trap for these greed-based attacks of jobs and lotteries and awards and relationships and all that, and then they're getting into trouble. So avoid greed. Don't have that mindset, and because all these are phishing attacks based on fear and greed. So and avoid shortcuts. That's another part of it. That don't have to click every link. You don't have to accept every friend request. So they are shortcuts to where you want to get. So avoid them. And third mantra for me is always, I say, think before you act. What you're liking, sharing, forwarding, posting on social platforms, you have to think. Thinking is also, again, not for many hours or days and all. It's for few seconds. You have to give your mind that much space, because the brain is a very powerful tool, you know it. So you have to but give it some time, a little time, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Just think and then you act. Then you will not make that mistake which you would if you are in a hurry. The fourth is have full knowledge. This is the information-based world, and we are living in an age of information. The information is the biggest power. So collect, keep, use as much information as possible. That will lead to success, security, satisfaction, whatever. That is the basic thing. And last mantra of mine, the fifth, is that in the cyberspace, do not trust anything blindly. The only thing you're interacting with in a cyberspace is a screen. There is no person, there is no place, there is no situation. It is just a screen. So on that screen, always keep in mind, anything can be shown in any way. So everything is not the gospel truth. So you have to verify, you have to be alert, whatever, but don't trust everything you see blindly.
So, sir, I'd like to ask a question on different tangent with your permission. That our viewers are aspiring civil servants, they are students who are preparing. So it reminds me a question that how do you look back on your journey, and what's your one mantra for them who are preparing for the civil services and aspiring to be IAS and IPS officers?
Look, see, my journey is a long story, but it is just the fact is that I was never interested to join the service. My father is an IAS officer, he retired as the Chief Secretary of Madhya Pradesh only. But my mother was very keen that I should be part of the service. So I did my engineering from NIT Trichy, and I wanted to go to US for my further studies. I had got admissions also in some very good colleges, universities like Harvard and Cornell and all. I was going to do my MBA, but my mother was, because being the only son, she was very keen that I should not go, because she felt I will not come back. So she just gave me a condition that once you give this exam, if you come in, fine, otherwise you can go. So just to keep my mother's heart, and because I didn't want to break her love for me, so I said, okay, I'll go 1 year later. I deferred my admissions, then just to say that mother should be satisfied. So I gave the exam, and I came into IPS. First attempt was, I was 92nd in India. Then I missed IAS by 1 mark. My aim was IAS because my dad was IAS officer. So 1 mark ka difference tha. So I thought ki chalo, us samay there was a rule that you have to join IPS and then try to give again, take 1 year leave. And if you come into IAS, you can go into IAS. Otherwise, you join the back seniority, say IPS. But then once you join, you cannot give the exam again. Okay. That lasted for 5-7 years, that rule. But now it's not there. So I gave the exam again. So again, I came 121st in India. I was again getting only IPS. So then I joined IPS. So that's how my journey started. Because I got my Madhya Pradesh cadre, my mother, father were here only. So just I stayed back. And now it's 33 years, so I think it has been the right decision. I have really had a very lovely service. These are the best services available in the country. You can do so much for the people and for the system if you do it honestly. And that's what I've tried to do all my life. And I've done in various spheres, and whatever I wanted as an ambition, I have achieved. Like, I wanted to see the world. I've seen 60 countries. I wanted to do a lot of wildlife photography. So when I write cyber, I could go around all the wildlife parks in the country and the world. And so many things have come true. This is the best service. But the only thing is, you have to do it with great hard work, determination, dedication, honesty, and that is at a premium nowadays. So tough job, but police job even tougher, because you have to really battle people's many times their anger and their expectation and all that, and still deliver. You have to find the enemy within. I always say that for an armed force, for defense, army, there is a border, and beyond the border may be the enemy, and this side of the border is your countrymen. But we have to find the enemy within us. So that makes it even more difficult, because sometimes you make a mistake, which is human. Many people do a wrong thing because they thought they were doing the right thing, and then it gives a lot of negative feedback. So I guess, and then it's a 24-hour job, and you don't have family time, you don't have time for your health, and it is very, very challenging. And still sometimes people are dissatisfied. So expectations are very high, resources are sometimes less. So seeing all that, I think in present times it is one of the most challenging jobs in government and in the country. But still I've enjoyed it, I've really loved it. And one thing which I can say for the young people who want to join, that we need the good people to come forward, to work hard, and you have an ambition, you have a target, and I'm sure you'll succeed. Only thing is you have to plan your way through and use your time very wisely, because time never comes back. You cannot say today I will not study, I will compensate tomorrow. If you have to study 12 hours a day, you have to do it every day. There is no Diwali, there is no Holi, there is no birthday, there is nothing. One single-minded, and if you do it, then of course the rest is chance also, because there's so many lakhs of people giving it, so everyone is doing their best. So, but you have to do your own, and I'm sure if you do it with dedication and that single-minded devotion, you will definitely succeed.
Yes. So with that note, it reminds me a very beautiful couplet, since we are in Indore, and so the work of civil servants, especially the policemen, are heroes. It goes like, दिखाई कम दिया करते हैं बुनियाद के पत्थर, दिखाई कम दिया करते हैं बुनियाद के पत्थर, ज़मीन में जो दबे हुए हैं इमारत उन्हीं पर कायम है. So you people are the foundations, the stones in which the buildings and the whole system and the...
Without security, there can be nothing.
Yes.
You can't have progress without security. For a human being also, and for health should be secure. So many things, you need security for progress.
So I think we should all respect our people who are in the services, and we should help them and contribute in a little small way in which we can. And that's for the message for the youth. And we like to thank you, sir, wholeheartedly for this conversation, and thanks for your time. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.